Morning. Nothing like the first hit of the day. So I've been researching another company. I want to record Glencoe today, but I've also been trying to get information on Valome, trying to put together something on Roden, but I've also been working on another company called WinMac. I don't know, you have to go back a ways if you guys remember WinMac or not. They were a lot of motorized U-control stuff, made their own little gas engines. They were kind of like Cox, and they made airplanes, boats, hovercraft, cars, and they had the little wire throttle control on them. But, a couple of brothers got together and started the company, and it did very well. The only company I know of that did television commercials. Well, anyway, the only model company I can think of. I don't ever recall seeing a TV commercial for like a kit model company like Revell or Monogram. I guess that just wasn't their milieu. But I don't know how a television commercial for a kit model would have gone over anyway. What if you were going to do a TV commercial for a plastic kit model company, which again was to my knowledge never a thing, but if you were going to, how would you do it? I mean, you look at the toys, Stretch Armstrong, you can trick it out of this, and this is, oh look, Tamiya models, 300 parts. Yeah, I can see why they did. I just don't see how you would sell it, excruciating detail. Look at those lines. And our decal sheet's best ever. Some assembly required. Well, it's kind of the point. If television commercials or radio or the regular mass speed, I'm in fact outside of trade magazines. I don't even know if I remember even seeing print ads. I guess even at its height, despite the number of kids that were involved, it was just the kind of hobby where it only advertised in the trades. I suppose that makes sense. But I'm not sure. You see, contrary to a lot of people think, well, I happen to agree with this suggestion, but the loss of mass marketing, in retail space, probably did more to hurt the industry than video games did. But when you would see models up on the shelf at a grocery store, people didn't buy because of the brand name. They bought because of they liked the basic because of the box art. And or the subject matter. And I'm talking about back when models were in grocery stores and gas stations and things like that. And I don't think that I think they were right not to waste a lot of money on mediums like television, because I just can't see how that would appeal. A lot of builders had their favorite companies, but most of them just built whatever they could afford or whatever was there. So advertising on television, yeah, that sounds like a total bust. That was probably something that they were wise not to pursue. But that being said, I'm wondering, I don't recall ever seeing one. Anybody know if companies like Aurora and them ever advertise their slot cars? Because that was an actual, dynamic thing you can make a video with. If you've ever seen any kind of television ad for the kit model business, I'd be interested to know about it. I was actually kind of surprised that WinMac advertised, because I don't even think I remember seeing any Cox commercials, and WinMac did make you control airplanes with gas engines and everything. I do remember a few model airplanes being sold that were like flying models, but they were the kind of one-offs from certain companies. I forget who made it. Was it the Bonanza or the Musketeer that was, you launched it and you could fly it in a circle, but I don't think it was, oh gosh, I don't think it was gas powered. Was it electric? Gosh, there were a few airplane toys, but by and large, you didn't see a lot of airplane toys for sale or advertised. I mean, but now Mattel advertised a lot of their toys, and of course they took over Monogram. But I remember Major Matt Mason TV commercials, and I remember, well, all kind of course, Hot Wheels. Man, you couldn't watch Saturday morning cartoons without seeing a dozen Hot Wheels commercials. Who made that knockoff that competed with Hot Wheels? I remember there was an actual like status. If you had the real Hot Wheels, like, oh, that's cool. But if you had I forget who made the cheap knockoffs off the top of my head, but if you had the other off brands, I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it's not Hot Wheels. And it was the Hot Wheels that Mattel made a bank on for a long time, but I guess it was the late '60s when sales slacked off. That was the beginning of the end for the handlers, that were the people that owned Mattel, because that was apparently their signature product, and they were trying to hide the losses. They got caught by the Security and Exchange Commission, and that did not go well for them. That was basically how they wound up losing control of the company. I also remember Matchbox cars were really popular, but I forget if, I don't recall if Matchbox advertised on TV or not. I think they did, but oh gosh, so many toys, and toy commercials are cool too, so I rather enjoyed them. Of course, like every kid, you wanted to have them. And when you went and bugged your parents for a toy or a model, what did they tell you? When I was a child, we made our own fun. Hey, you're going to get me an injection molding press so I can make my own models? That's great, Mom, Dad, I appreciate it. There were a few airplanes. I had one called was it Starbright or Starlight, which was an electric plane. You could fly it on a string, but you had no control. But you basically just turned it on. It was free flight, and it had what they called an automatic pilot. And the same mechanism you could find on some model boats and I think cars. And what it was is a weird shaped disc that you would snap in there, and you'd wind it up, and it would rotate, and it had an uneven edges on it, and those edges would push and pull on a cable that controlled the rudder or the steering, and that was supposed to make it fly a pre-programmed course, which it never really did, but it did fly though. It was my favorite toy, and kit models, toy commercials, and going downtown to see a movie and buy a model on your bicycle. That was my childhood, and I feel very fortunate to have had it. Well, let me go get cracking on some models. You guys have a wonderful day and model on. And in case you were wondering, the princess is up there on her perch, but she doesn't care to join me today. Take care.